Okay, so one significant surprise. Clancy 74-800 has taken a Grozhevoy rather than a Gearing. We've got Moskvas on either side, a DM on either side, and a Midway. That's our second Midway.
Huh?
Yes. Lansing has taken a Midway. Serenity's taken one I suspect will be a 4-2-2 Hakuryu.
This would be interesting.
Montana on Montana, and a Hindenburg. Hindenburgs are squaring off an Henri versus a Zhao, so almost, but not quite the mirror. So
yes, MDIV will want to keep that Henri long-range kiting, whereas I will probably want that Zhao in a good smoke cloud.
Indeed. But let us begin with the tradition. Not one step back, comrades. Not one step back. Etc., etc. And boop. There we go. Nice and settled. Right, let's go see what Iowa are up to as far as their initial deployment goes. So, starting with Clancy's in the Grozhevoy, just getting himself up to speed, that turbo Russian destroyer. And okay, that's interesting. Clancy's is pushing out for A. Just having a look at what the rest of the team's doing. Mac GG74 in the Gearing looks like he's going for a B push. Interestingly, Invasion in the Hindenburgs working his way up into the BC gap. And the rest of the battle line is shaking out, maybe moving to support A and putting some cover fire into B, but that's a relatively conservative option. So I would say AB split from Iowa with a little bit of spice on top.
Yeah, looks like we've got the same here. We've got a group of 4 heading towards A rather assertively. There's a group, I think, are going for B. They're taking a wide route upwards towards C and then coming back around just so they don't get spotted quite so easily. A lot of shots coming in on that Mossra immediately.
Yeah, it's the first thing that got spotted. Of course, that flanking group of yours is going to get a nasty surprise when they clear C, because Invasion is working his way round to the north as well. So I think primarily he's playing flank guard, so MDIV just don't go round and blam the Midway, but if he does catch them as they turn into B, that could get very interesting. And we have an early cat progress into B by MacGG, just taking advantage to get in early. He's popped his smoke, and the Moskva's in radar range, but at this point I don't think he's popped his radar just yet.
No, doesn't seem it. Moskva took a fair bit of damage in the initial onslaught. Could have been worse, but
yeah.
Shots coming in now.
Yeah, but they're mostly aiming for Yoshinaka.
Oh yeah, MacG just got radared now. Yeah, in come the shots.
Here comes the pain.
And he's straight out of there. He's not hanging around.
He's not stupid. He's legging it. Takes
a couple of good shots there from the
high X. Yeah, but he's got himself out. And yeah, while he has had to abandon the cap, he's gotten away from that relatively intact. Considering that he got radared and had at least 4 or 5 ships engaging him, that was about as good as he could have hoped for. But meanwhile, down in point A, Clancy's is in a bit of trouble as well. He's been forced off the cap, and I think the Gearing is playing the spotting advantage against him.
No, we actually have dive bombers going for the Moskva, making it relatively all the way through, although I don't think they actually hit anything. There's probably a defensive fire included in there from the Grozhevoy.
Well, they're certainly not making it back home, put it that way. Yoshinaka lost about 13,000 in that. I'm not sure whether that was for the bombers or from artillery fire.
That was all from the initial engagement. The bombs didn't even connect.
Yeah, but as we've noted several times in this early game, bombers, it's just a good way to lose planes, really.
Yeah. Now we've got Askoda moving up towards C, trying to engage with the Hindenburg. We've got an Henri going all the way out round to the island of E9, going all the way around the long way, going for a massive flank with that Henri. It has the speed to do it.
Yeah, he does. Of course, that's one of the French trading points, and yet he can use that island, keep himself shielded, and pop up on Invasion's flank. Thing is, Invasion isn't the only ship over there. The Zhao of Iron Boots is also moving, and while they can see Askoda, I think both sides are about to get a very nasty surprise in C when the Henri clears the island and engages. Meanwhile, A has gone to MDIV, and point B has as well, taking advantage of the fact they managed to force MacGG out of the cap circle just for a second. Of course, Matt gets straight
Montana
back
got struck
in.
by torpedo bombers there, I think. Took a little bit of damage.
Okay, not much, but...
Oh, that's a big hit from... I think that was Montana shells that went in. He's burning. I'm not sure if he's flooding. He's losing health. Nah, he's not flooding. He's healing and burning at the same time.
Yeah, Begnay is in smoke, but of course, if he's fired his main battery recently, he's jumped. Unfortunately, he's also about to smack Clancy's, so little bit of battleship on destroyer action there, and it has effectively braked him, so you can argue that that's actually worked to their advantage, but he's stopped, and he's just fired his main battery, and that is just what you do not do if you are in smoke in a battleship, because it completely wrecks the smoke advantage.
Yeah, I think he thought he had a good shot on T-Plunder, but he was sufficiently angled that it didn't really do much.
He didn't. It was borderline, but I wouldn't have said that was a good idea at all. I must admit, even if I'd had flat broadside, I would have been reluctant to pull the trigger on that. But
well, we're aware of MDivs on Re now. We've got the Zao and Hindenburg spotted right now. I think your midway was trying to go for a strike on the Henri, but fighters soon dissuaded him from that.
Yes, and Rudy has done a defensive turn away. He's
actually
angled,
respotted.
But yes, he is respotted.
Low health as well.
So right now it is Iowa that have got to make the mid push. They're behind 2 control points. They're bleeding points. They're 130 down at the moment. 120
Montana
down.
takes a torque from the gearing. Not sure if that caused a flood or not. If it did, it's already been damconned.
Bayno took stick in that, but the second wave is incoming, but I think he's got enough
he's clear.
Horizontal way. Yeah, he's not going to eat that. Clancy's is pushing back into point A, but in order to do that, he's going to be in front of a lot of firepower. That DM's taking a look, mostly it has to be said, at Yoshinaka's Moskva, but he's angled up. Hayek's won't care, of course, but no fire and a bit of damage. Battleship Moskva doing what it does best and soaking the enemy's attention, while the other ships get on with the business of winning the game. Or at least...
We actually have a spot on the Des Moines there of Agarat. He's being lit up. I'm not sure if the Moskva actually gets a shot off there. I think he's backed up sufficiently. Gearing's having a pop.
Oh yeah, the Gearing's looking for a bit of action, of course, and while he's at it, Agaras is looking to get a flanking shot into T-Plunder. I'm not entirely sure that's wise, but...
No, T-Plunder's not paying attention to that. He could get a pretty good salvo there, because Des Moines does not have a lot of space to back up, but T-Plunder's more focused on this Grozvoy and Moskva, going for shots on the Grozvoy, who did get dropped by torpedo bombers, but no hits.
I think at this point, T-Plunder thinks of that DM as more nuisance value than anything else. Clancy's, meanwhile, just about gets away with that drop. It was panicked, of course, but, well, could have been worse. Torpedo bombers kinda ambling around, I think.
Just for spotting, I think, yeah.
Yeah, I did actually wonder if he was deliberately going for the Death Express there to get them back a bit quicker, but doesn't look like it. And Clancy's breaks contact, ducks away. Really, he's got to worry about the gearing and the enemy fighters over point A. But while Iowa have got point C under control, and both Invasion and Iron Boots are working their way south slowly, there's still they're now 170 points down. So they have really got to come up with something in the next few minutes, because we're almost at the halfway point of this round. And Imperator, showing a bit too much broadside there, catches some high explosive and ends up on fire. Problem is, if he goes out any further, he's going to be in broadside to T-Plunder. And right now, I think both Montanas are eyeing each other up. Okay, T-Plunder fires, Imperator fires on the Hindenburg, and Imperator is very lucky not to eat some heavy damage, but I think the main belt's soaking the worst of it.
Yeah, meanwhile up north, the Hindenburg and Zao are trying to deal with Henri, but they're both just trading shots and not really getting a whole lot done either way.
Yeah.
Because these two are being held up here, it means Asco is also helping out here, but neither side's making any form of headway. But MDiv don't really need to push for C, because they've got the other two caps relatively safely.
And that's the point. This situation really suits MDiv. They can just play a defensive blocking game, sit on that 180-point advantage as it is now. Clancy's is into point A and has the cap going, of course, so they can't be entirely complacent, but right now, if these forces up in the north, Rudy 007 and Ascoda, can just hold...
that's a big hit.
Ouch! Yes, right. Okay, that changes the game just a bit. Invasion is suddenly out of friends, and which means that Rudy is now in a position to start tightening up on point C and turning this round.
Radar by the Moskva and taking some heavy damage for it.
Yeah.
Hindenburg trying to punish the broadsiding Montana. Does relatively well. That's nearly 10k, I think, there.
Yeah, and more to the point, Imperator's on fire. 1, possibly 2 burns going, and he's stuck broadside. He was lucky that didn't do more damage on that last salvo, but in order to do it, he's got to run in front of the pinning forces down in Gulf 6. The Moskva in particular. Yeah, Imperator's got the fire under control, but because of the way he's turning, he's going broadside to that Moskva in the smoke at Gulf 6. Just
and he's firing.
B. Yeah, and he was lucky to get away with that one, but the Moskva might get another salvo. Yeah, if he goes for the upper belt, and I think he's just gone for high explosive this time.
Yeah.
Okay, no burn, and the terrain stopped the worst of it, but Imperator now perilously low on health.
T-Blunt is also very low on health in that smoke screen.
Yeah, Yoshinaka's got to back up. Both Montanas, at this point, not really living up to the rep they'd established in the early games of this tournament.
No. Meanwhile, up north, the Omri and the Montana, Ascoda and Rudy are pushing through into C. They're securing it. Since both caps currently are being contested, well, all caps are being contested right now, so there's no point gain anywhere on the map.
Yeah, and more to the point, if Ascoda and 007 can push through
big
C,
hit on your Des Moines in the centre of B. Moskva gets a perfect broadside with AP, and another one coming in. This could be the death of that Des Moines, actually.
Yeah, Agrast, I think at this point, is trying to decide what to do, and I think it's mostly launching the lifeboats. Because right now, Quillimax is having a go as well. Here comes the kill shot. He is... blimey, he's not dead. I didn't think he was going to get away with that third broadside, but here comes number 4. He's turning as best he can. He's not going to angle anything like enough.
Just got enough of island between them.
But he manages to get away from the Gearing's high explosive and the Moskva's AP. XXO Blee must be absolutely raging right now. Yeah. That should have been a certain kill. However, in the north, it's now point C firmly under MDiv's control.
Same for point A, they forced the Grozvoy out.
Indeed, and point B is contested, so it's now 2-0 MDiv once again. They're 220 points up. Once again, it's a case of Iowa really need to get the initiative here. And at this point, I don't think they're going to pull it off. Beneo Tux in the centre, he's trying to get into B in the Montana, but in the process, he's exposing himself to Vogel down south in the Hindenburg, eating a lot of shots in the process. Imperator has pulled some of his health back, but he's going nowhere for the moment. Yoshinaka, 10,000 health in a Moskva. The moment he shows himself, he's going to be in trouble. Really, it's just a question at this point of how Iowa can try and turn this situation round. Because they've got to come up with something very fast, and they haven't got a lot with which to do it.
Yeah. I was curious as to why the Montana and the Henri decided to make that push. It's because they managed to catch the Zhao. They managed to knock him out fairly quickly, so they decided to push on the lone Hindenburg since they had the advantage.
Absolutely, just bully the Hindenburg off the cap, and they succeeded wildly in doing that. I mean, Invasion...
Imperator's getting focused a lot now.
Invasion is kiting, but he's not really doing enough damage to us. Ascoda in order to make it count. And
MacG spotted.
Yeah, that's going to be problematic for him.
Battleship AP, yeah. Both Montana shot him and got him.
Yeah, I think XXO Blee has backed up, and it was just his radar, I think, that might have done the deed.
Yeah. He doesn't get the revenge talk against Ascoda either, it just misses.
Yeah, annoying really. However, XXO's got his own problems, but he just dodged that salvo. And now it's Quillmax once again holding the cap point. And
Wing's very much in the open here. That's an interesting position. The Moskva can't capitalize, but the Montana's getting focused a lot here. I think he's going to go down.
Yeah, Bene is in real trouble. He's got at least one fire. No, he's
Put
got
the
his
fire
fires out. He's popped his Damcon, however.
Here comes Hindenburg AP.
But with only 4,000 health left, 1,000 health left, it's not
Henri
going
HE
to
finishes him
matter.
off.
Yeah,
Asco gets flooded out by the gearing, though.
Indeed, and amazingly, we have a carrier kill. XXO Blee drops the Moskva. Sorry, Lansing drops XXO Blee in the Moskva.
He was only on like 1,000 health, so any hit would have been good.
True enough, but I think this has pretty much swung to MDiv's side. Despite the carnage of the last couple of minutes, it's come out relatively even. And MDiv are still 2 control points and 400 victory points up. So unless we start seeing a massive run of MDiv ships sinking in the next 2 minutes, they are going to take this opening round, methinks.
Yeah, Grozovoy is going back into A to block the capture. Moss was getting focused down by the Hindenburg, and I think T Plunder's also trying to get some shots off in the Montana.
Yeah, Yoshinaka's in real trouble. He's angled all well and good, but he's got Hindenburg High Explosive being thrown at him.
Yeah.
And that quarter penetration is just doing the difference. Torpedoes run out in the smoke, not hitting the Hindenburg, annoyingly. And T-Plunder's eyeing him up as well, of course. T-Plunder, not sure if he can overmatch a Moskva or not, but it really doesn't matter at this stage. Dive bombs come down, don't do anything except get the pilots killed. Again. And Yoshinaka's diving for cover, but he's got to go broadside in the process and is giving the Hindenburg of Vogel Avsman a very nice target. Regent Khan just gets a quick expose as he ducks into cover. 1,100 health. T-Plunder puts down the DM of Algaraz. He apparently decided to finally swap that particular nuisance. 922 points to 354 in MDiv's favour. This is not going to end well for Iowa. Oh, Regent Khan goes down to a lucky shot from Yoshinaka. But, well, Yoshinaka's on 500 health. It's only going to need one round. There he goes. Vogel gets the kill. Okay, torpedoes out from Clancy's towards T-Plunder, figuring he's got nothing to lose, except possibly his pride and his chains. And T-Plunder, well, he's seen the fish, trying to turn, but I think he's going to eat 2. And you know what? With the Grozovoy's torpedoes, that isn't enough. He only eats the 1.
And now Battleship AP versus Destroyer.
Well, Battleship secondaries versus a Destroyer.
They're actually doing somewhat okay, actually.
Montana's secondaries may not be quite the rep that the Germans do, but that's still pretty impressive. And the Hindenburg's pouring it on as well. But 986 points, it's really not going to matter. There goes the AP.
There's the kill on the end of the match.
The kill, and that's the end of the game. So, MDiv-1 go 1 round up. Iowa are in this next round for their survival in this tournament. If they lose this, they are gone. Finished. Index. You go home with nothing. Except memories, pride, and probably an invitation to next year. So, let's see. That was more what we've come to expect of MDiv, I would say.
Yeah, that's more like it. That's more like what I expected to see.
Yeah, solid territory control. Very, very good positioning, focus fire. The Montanas, I must admit, those first couple of games, right way at the start of the stream, I thought we were going to see the Montanas all being death machines, but I think it might just been that we had 2 very good Montana drivers.
Yeah. I mean, Montana... The accuracy of Montana is absolute, but it seems to be trying a little more now. There's not as many broadside targets that they can really punish at the moment, so the accuracy is all well and good, but if you strike that main bow angle, there's no chance of it going through. Yeah.
And it has to be noted that a typical engagement range is 10 to 15 kilometers. Bow to bow, Montana against Yamato, the 46 guns do have that edge, even if you're slightly angled and hitting the upper works. So Yamato, as you've noted several times, is a static defensive ship, and a lot of the time in these tourney maps, if a team gets an initial advantage, that's exactly what you want in a battleship. Something that can just dig in, take everything that comes its way and deal out punishment to anything that tries to make a move.
Yeah, unfortunately, if you do that, it unfortunately binds you to that style. So if for some reason you're not able to get that, then the ship suddenly starts to lose out in favor of the ships that can adapt more to that situation, like Montana.
Yeah. And I must admit, I am also surprised that we're not seeing so many Conquerors.
Yeah, I thought we'd see a few more of them around, but not really. I think have we seen more Yamatos and Conquerors at this point?
I think we have. I'm trying to think back through our matches so far today, and I think we've seen 2, maybe 3 Conquerors, if that.
Yeah, I think we've only had. I think I've seen 2 for certain.
I'm unsure of the third. I'd have to go back and take a look. It's just one of those things, I suppose. Maybe just the teams had more Montana drivers, more experienced Montana drivers on hand.
More than likely, yeah.
That said, the British battleships aren't that new anymore. Okay, I'm still on Queen Elizabeth, but then I'm terminally lazy when it comes to grinding. But no, I think we have seen more Yamatos than we have Conquerors, and I can only recall seeing 2 Kurfürsts. 1 Kurfürst.
Yeah.
So again, very much the Montana that's dominating the battleship field at this tier. As you say, it's got brutal levels of flak, which helps if you get away from your cruisers, and you've also got a reliable, solid 12 by 16 inch main battery. I suppose the other good question is what's going to happen for the next tourney, because of course by that point the France will be in the game.
Indeed. That thing's... It's going to be even lower on firepower compared to a Yamato being only an 8-gun design, but enhanced reload from what we understand, and a more kitey play style, so you wouldn't replace a Yamato in any stretch. It's more akin to a Montana, if we're going with what we've heard.
In fact, going back to what you said about the Montana being locked into a static playstyle, I think the France, as she's currently being leaked and rumoured, might have the opposite problem. She's locked into the mobility playstyle, and she can't go static. So, could get interesting, but that's a problem for King of the C6.
Mm-hmm.
Or possibly the next run of Clan Wars, who knows. Anyhow, just waiting for everything to sort itself out. Teams are getting themselves reorganised, having their discussions, and generally having things done. While we're waiting for that, Stunt, I think it's giveaway time.
I think it's giveaway time as well.
Right, so let's see. Fire up Nightbot. Okay. Choice for this one. Your keyword is ! Decider. Because that's exactly what this round and this match could be. So pop your message in. As before, both Stunt and I will be giving away 2 codes. So pop this into both of our chat channels on the multi-Twitch, and you will double your chances of winning. And we'll draw this one once we've got the end of this next round.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so just check all of this. And by the way, should you need the multi-Twitch link, I will drop it into both chat channels once again. And oh, there you go. And in fact, I've just done it twice in mine. Whoops. There we go. So that's one into Stunts as well. All happy. And yeah, so teams are sorting themselves out. Looks like MDiv are just juggling their roster a little, perhaps. I only see 7 in there at the moment.
Yeah, I think they're just getting some more people in.
Right, so okay. Right, and yeah, Iowa are just about sorted. As noted, I think they're having a quick rummage round, maybe tweaking their lineup a little. MDiv, of course, have got... Well, they've got an edge here. They've got a game in hand. Iowa have to wonder what they're thinking at the moment. They know as well as we do what the numbers are. They know full well they are fighting in this round to stay in the tournament.
Mm-hmm. So if this one goes to MDiv, that's it. MDiv are going to go through.
Yeah, and Iowa will
Iowa
go out.
need both games now if they're going to stay in the tournament.
Equally, if this goes to a tiebreaker, then whoever loses that third round is getting dumped out of the tournament. And yet, that would be the upset. Because MDiv were pretty solid betting to get into the knockout stages.
Could be an upset if Iowa managed to bring it back through.
Yeah, it will be. Okay, set that. Okay, right. So, just waiting for the teams to get themselves set up and ready, and then we will be good to go for what might be the last round of Group C. Or at least the last one that will actually matter as far as the results go. Unfortunately, of the other two teams in this bracket, both Wrecked and Black are definitely through, Wrecked are definitely out. There's no way of changing that now. Okay, so just check all of this. Okay, right. Yeah, I think MDiv are just asking for a bit of time to get this self sorted out. Right, okay, 9 out of 12, and I think that's everybody just about in and ready. The last two team members are in the undistributed list. They need to get put to their teams, they need to sort out their ship selections, and then we are good to go. Right. And Bimbajan, thank you very much for the subscription. It is most appreciated. So, just sort this out. Just check the brackets. Yep, that's all fine. Looking at the other brackets. Well, while we're waiting, let's just scroll through the other brackets. Right, so Group A. Looks like Odin Mortis, Spielfrauen are through 2-0, and it's a scrap between Old School Crew and Bulgarian Navy for the second slot. I'm not going to try and pronounce the name of the team that's gone out of Group A. Tora are through with Greek Team Admirals and Potato Navy, scrapping it out for the second slot in Group B.
And they're currently in a match together, so that's a decider match.
Indeed, absolutely. Group C, of course, is the one we're looking at the moment. Black are through, and it's between MDiv-1 and Iowa for the final slot there. Group D, it's Surface Contact Unknown that are through, and again we have another 1-all decider going on. Kings of the Sea versus Deep Inside the Fog. As for the rest, WGP2W were through in Group E. Stunt, I'm sure you're very happy about that.
Yay.
MDiv-2 have been dumped out.
Interesting.
Yeah, they've lost both of theirs. Deutsche Marine Division 2 are gone with 2 straight losses. Paranoids and Kimochi 3, Echi, are scrapping it out in Group E. Group F, Over Penetration are through. Congratulations to them. Marnat Français are out. And there we're going to have to leave it because the game has started. Let's get this over. Right. And also that and that, and send it all live. Okay, so once again we've got a midway, which is I was really not expecting to see twice in a row. As I say, I'm pretty sure Farazailis just pulled it out for giggles and to see how it did. But Hindenburg's, DMs, Gearing's, Grozovoy's, yeah, much more of a mirror match. No one's taking any chances this time. And it's Warrior's Path. So, here comes the question we've seen in this map earlier in the tourney. Is anyone going to try and push through C? Because that's not ended well so far.
No teams managed to get through C in any way, either North or South spawn. North spawn usually holds off, and then the South spawn gets stuck there, and they don't go A. So if South goes A, we'll have something different East. So
yeah, and of course the question is whether or not anyone's been watching the earlier matches. Right, let's go see what Iowa are up to as they try and save their place in the tournament. So just lock on to one of the destroyers. So I'm getting an update. There we go. And okay, well, there's definitely an A split coming from Iowa. Can't tell yet whether they're going for B or C. That Grozovoy could be making a delayed run into B. What are MDIV up to?
We do have a group going to A. Looks like only 3 of the ships are going that way, so flanking hold off force, if anything. They're not the main push. Main push is going towards either C or B. Can't quite tell yet. They're taking quite a wide line over there. Regent Khan's going straight for B, though.
Yeah, so...
And now he's pulling off. There we go.
Okay, so again, he's just hooking behind that big island in Echoes 7 and 8 in order to give him a covered approach into possibly C. Or maybe he's just going to hook back, who knows. Anyhow, the Grozovoy's turned. Clancy's is making a run into B as well, so either they've seen the earlier games or they're looking at the map, because I think we're seeing A-B splits from both teams here.
Looks like MDIV might be going all the way around to C.
Okay, that's not ended well for anyone yet, but this might be the first time. MDIV are certainly good enough to make it work. However, Clancy's is probably spotted, but he's inching his way into B. He's got the island to cover him against any direct fire from the BC team, but anyone moving for A is going to have a very solid flanking shot at the moment.
So far, we've got Yamato and Montana both spotted, and now the Hindenburg. Nothing spotted in B.
Yeah,
just yet. Regent Khan's probing.
Indeed. We've got the early contacts on the north side as well. And Quillimax, interesting, he's out of his destroyer. He's into a DM. Normally he's been driving a gearing in this tournament so far. So I don't know whether that's a shift of strategy from MDIV, juggling their personnel around. But I would say we're looking at a C cap from MDIV. Now, the reason C caps have never worked is because there's always been a solid enemy force on the other side. But right now, there isn't anything there from Iowa. So if MDIV get a blitz on right now, they could probably go straight through C.
Yes, problem is they do not have a destroyer ready to do that. The first thing that will get there is either the Des Moines or the Hindenburg, so right now they're playing a little cautiously. I don't think they're 100% certain. I mean, everything that has been spotted except the 2... well, the Grozovoy got spotted in B. They don't know where the gearing is. That's the only person unaccounted for right now, so they're probably thinking he might be in C.
They're about to find out, and he's not in C, because
there he is on A.
Mutual lock-on between Flashkus and MacGG. MacGG gets the early shots. Flashkus, needs to say, is going to have to leg it.
From the Hindenburg.
Yeah, that would be why. And he's dumped his smoke, turned away, and run completely standard destroyer tactics. There'll be torpedoes in the water. Mac knows it. He's going bow on in his smoke. He's not entirely stupid, and that gives, well, some brown alert moments for Mac as the Montana's AP from T-Plunder just slams into the water next to him. But he's got the early cap going in A, and Iowa have also grabbed B. But as we've seen in so many games so far, an early cap doesn't mean you're going to win. It just means you get a bit of an early bit of pressure on the enemy team. So, moment 1 cap nil to Iowa. They're about to make it 2-0 if MDIV can't get something into point A. But it's going 2-1 in point C, and what we might see here, pun not intended, is a C flanking move actually work.
Right now, as the Grozovoy spotted, the Des Moines and the Hindenburg both had shots on him, so they put some fire in.
Yeah, but it wasn't enough to block the cap. And Askoda's coming up as well, but he's got his shots blocked by the island at the moment. Quillimax is spotted and stationary, but I'm not sure that Yoshinaka has actually got a decent shot. In fact, Yoshinaka's looking at the gearing in point B. Regent Khan, once again, playing the position in the cap game. He's been doing a solid job of that through this entire tournament. Unfortunately,
Yeah, so...
unfortunately, having said that, he's just been forced out by fire from Imperator and possibly Yoshinaka as well. Dive bombers come in.
Oh, that's a big hit. I think that was Battleship AP from Imperator that hit for 7,000. It was a pretty good hit on the broadside.
However, again, okay, AB cap to Iowa. Again, we're seeing a stalemate develop. The forces in C are being very reluctant to try and stand. I can kind of understand that, because in order to clear C at this point, they've got to come round this promontory in Foxtrot 8. And when they do that, they're going to be broadside on to Imperator's Montana. And first person to do that's going to take an absolute paddling.
Meanwhile, we got dive bombers going straight in on the Des Moines, and I believe those were AP bombers, and they actually did get a Citadel on the Des Moines. That was actually quite effective strike, nearly 15,000 HP lost.
Yes, they can die happy in that case. Certainly no fire, and William's broken contact. Meanwhile, Regent Khan has got himself back into point B. He's got the cap going there, and with air superiority overhead, Iowa can't get a spot to make that, to get the interrupt. On the other hand, well, even trying's exposing them to flak from Captain Stewie's DM as well. So, looks like we're seeing a push developing in A, though. Iowa's heavies have just moved up. Iron Boots, rather, in the Yamato, and Invasion in the Hindenburg are trying to force their way through, get onto the Montana and the Hindenburg north of A. Of course, Flashkuss is also lurking around there as well, so could be some torpedoes in the water. But right now I'd have to suggest that Iowa have probably overcommitted in A. They're going to have to reallocate their forces pretty fast, get through T-Plunder and Vogel, who are two of MDiv's best players in this team, and then try and transfer around on the northern flank and get into B to turn this round. The southern group are outnumbered, eating torpedoes as well, and Yoshinaka just took 3, I think. He's down to about 20,000, 21,000.
Big hit, yeah.
Yeah, and they've really got to fight a delaying action at this point. Which it has to be said, they're doing a pretty solid job of.
Yeah, they need to get a push through quick. Flashkuss has just smoked up the Hindenburg and the Montana in that area, which under old smoke mechanics would have been very hard to get rid of without a radar ship, but the smoke firing changes a little easier to maybe spot them as you fire. I think, yeah, Vogel's getting spotted by the Yamato as he fires. Takes a little bit of damage there, but nothing major.
Yes.
Meanwhile, Flashkuss is going for torpedo beats, and he's safely through there.
Yes, and T-Plunder trades away his concealment to get a salvo off to Iron Boots. Iron Boots on fire, taking some high X was there, but 46cm guns go out. I think he lost a turret. I only saw 3 rounds come off the bow guns of that Yamato.
It does look like one's pointed in a completely different direction from the other. I think he might have lost a turret. Or at least incapacitated momentarily.
It's an in-cap, it's not a destruction.
Yeah.
Just took a closer look at that. So, yeah, that's one of the other problems, because he's now broadside, and unfortunately Iron Boots has now got the ancient dilemma. If he tries to angle against T-Plunder, he goes broadside to the forces in the EF line, and if he tries to angle against them, he goes broadside to T-Plunder. And if he tries to angle against both, he angles against neither. But yeah, still, yeah, he's got his second
T-Plunder's getting
back.
his broadside punished by this Hindenburg, though, who's coming across very aggressively.
Ooh, Iron Boots just...
Sub-8-kilometer engagement here.
Yeah, Iron Boots just took a significant engagement. At this kind of range, armor thickness isn't going to do a thing for you. It's all about the angles. And Iron Boots is bow on, so T-Plunder... I think he knows he's in trouble at this point.
I think he's doomed. Here comes a strike as well, and relatively unaffected.
Torpedoes in the water, cross drop, even panicked. Oh, he got lucky.
Little too close. But the Hindenburg's going to finish him off.
But I think it's going to be a mutual wipeout between the battleships here. Iron Boots is on 3,000. There goes Iron Boots. But T-Plunder's only on 4,500, and the Hindenburg's looking very hungry over there.
just angled sufficiently.
3,000. Okay, upper works and belts stopped the worst of that one, and he's managed to duck himself into cover, but Bene might just decide, you know what, I'm going to go for it, angle up, and basically charge that position. He'll eat one broadside, but his bow guns at this range into the upper works will just finish the job.
He doesn't need to go too much forward. He's got his rear end. He can just HE that down.
Yeah. Question is one of saturation, and yet there he goes. T-Plunder didn't even get that suicide salvo off. So, Iowa are through point A, but they're 50 points down because of the time they've lost, while the enemy have had both cap points. Meanwhile, over on point C, Quillimax and Nascoda have just dug themselves in. I don't think they're planning to move for the rest of this match. No. I think they're quite happy to just sit there and intimidate Imperator and Clancy's into not grabbing C.
Yeah, the Hindenburg's just staying on the outskirts, HEing down the Montana pretty effectively. They can't come around to Quillimax or Escoda's position, and honestly, there's not really a lot they can do from this position. They can't push, they can't really fall back. There's really not much they can do.
It's that low promontory at the southeast corner of the island in Foxtrot 8, because it's so low that it's no cover at all, but you can't put torpedoes through it, and you've got to go round it to get in.
Escoda got pretty lucky there. It looked like he was going to take a torpedo, but the terrain was just high enough that the torpedo hit the terrain.
Yes, that would have been a flood. It would have been bow damage. As is, it's Imperator who's got the burn problem, thanks to exit.
And a strike coming in here.
Here come the torpedoes. No defensive fire. I think
no. Oh no, there is defensive fire. Mossford just got it off in time, but he's going to take one.
It's going to be on the belt though. So, did that even arm?
It did, yeah. It just did so little damage.
Okay.
We lost our gearing.
Yeah, Flash just goes down, but that's over on point A. And while it does kind of even the scores, and Mac GG has gotten himself into B, so he's starting to swing that round. Now this is going to force Ascoda and Quillimax to move, because right now, if their flank gets turned, then they are in serious trouble, because they're very tightly dug in against an approach from either the north or the south, but they can't move themselves. This is the problem. If you make your defensive position too good, you can't get out. And
that's a good tool, right on the bow.
Right past the belt,
shoots him anyway.
And then Ascoda gets it. Imperator, I think, just got a bit impatient there, tried to move up, and found himself in trouble as well. But Ascoda needs to move himself now, and Clancy's, I suspect, again must be highly annoyed with himself, because those torpedoes are clean misses. Mind you, speaking of torpedoes, Invasion goes down to Vogel's fire, but Vogel's in trouble as well up on the north side. He's been pushed into the map border, and while he's doing plenty of damage, I think he's going to, I think he's had it.
Yeah, he's just trying to delay and deal as much damage as possible. Oh, what a shot that is from the Des Moines.
Enough time for Stewie to put down Beneo Tux in the Hindenburg, so Iowa have lost pretty much all of their A-force. Surprisingly, I thought they were going to be able to bully. I thought they were going to be able to bully their way through that. And there goes Yoshinaka. Right, I think we might be saying farewell to Iowa at this point. The casualties are mounting. The dominoes are starting to topple.
They took 2 torps there from the Grozovoy, but I don't think it's
not going to matter. Quillier is getting his torpedo beats on. Eats one on the nose. Gets some dive bombs as well. Dive bomb as well. I'm seeing his health drop, and I don't see a burn. I think Quilly is flooding.
There goes the gearing in B. They can take B. I think they've got this.
They have got it. They're at 945 points.
Yeah, there's no way.
There's no way Iowa are coming back from this, which is a shame, because they gave them quite the run.
Yeah, it was fairly close matches. Could have gone either way, but...
this one couldn't, right at the end.
Credit
to Vogel, I think, and T-Plunder for just fighting that delaying action.
The fact that Vogel stayed alive as long as he did, that's a testament to good defensive driving.
Yes.
Or sailing, I should say.
And did as much damage as he did, because remember there was, a Yamato, a Hindenburg, a DM, a Gearing. and possibly something else. And it was basically...
yeah.
And they were up against T-Plunder, Flashkus, and Vogel. They should have just driven straight over them, and, well, look at what's left. Half a DM. Less, in fact, a third of a DM. And they just held them up for the entire game and just whittled them down. I mean, if that force had gotten into B, we would be talking about a 1-all decider at this point.
Mm-hmm.
But as it is, Algarast is just, I think, going for pride at this stage. And unfortunately for Clancy's, well, he's on the wrong side of an island, and there's a Montana on the other side that really, really wants to talk to him. In the worst possible way.
Mm-hmm. And there goes Aras to the Des Moines, and that is game.
Yeah, and also match. So we are saying farewell to Iowa. MDiv, despite a scare, get themselves into the round of 32.